Hello, welcome today. So I have done a little bit of research into the Saudi route, how to migrate to Saudi Arabia. And the reason I have done this is because, let's say for example, you're a doctor and you want to go to United Kingdom. You already know you have to write PLAB or any other route like masters. If you want to go to United States, you know you have to write USMLE and any other route that follows. But Saudi looks a bit cryptic. Maybe once in a while you hear that there's employment, but then people are going every day and there's a way they are doing it and it is not so obvious. Okay, I did my best to actually bring one of them to come and speak on the channel, but it appears that most people who have migrated to Saudi through the Saudi pathway do not actually want to be so obvious. So I've collected information from different sources and they all tend to agree. So I'm going to be giving you the harmonized information I have. The information I'll give you here is actually going to help you answer this question: should you really move to Saudi from the economic or financial standpoint? Okay, there could be many other reasons why you may not want to move, or you may want to move to Saudi, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, because of course you have to put in the cultural difference depending on where you're coming from. You have to consider all of that in depth. But what I am going to be giving you is information that will help you decide whether it is actually financially feasible and better for you to migrate to Saudi Arabia. And this information will work whether you're a doctor or not actually. So what will it take you if you are going to migrate to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia? So I'll go through quickly what I've gathered from people who have migrated, and that should help you make an informed decision. So let's dive right into it. Alright, so what have I gathered? The first part of it is that you don't need an exam. As I started by mentioning USMLE, PLAB, that's the first question most young people, maybe final year medical students, ask me when they want to inquire about the Saudi route. So they are trying to know, what exam am I supposed to write? What am I supposed to be doing to get me ready to actually position me to migrate? So you do not need an exam first. If you do need an exam, you're going to write it when you get there. So then what do you need to go? The first thing you need is actually a job. Okay, so you need a job to migrate to Saudi. So it means you have to be able to get a job from your home country that will get your employers to sponsor your visa. So your employer sponsors your visa, gets you over, and then you'll be able to do other things, like if you need to write an exam or just to start work or whatever verification you need to do, you need a job first. It is a job that will take you out, unlike other countries that you have to be writing exams to qualify before you can move. So the usual challenge is actually not about which exams to write for Saudi. The usual challenge is, how do you get jobs? Once you can land a job, you have actually done bulk of more than 60% of the work once you can land a job. So how do you get jobs? So that is the main meat of this video. How do you get jobs? Number one is your qualification. And why this is very important is because most people who are inquiring about Saudi routes are medical officers or final medical students or junior staff, and to get jobs for this caliber of people has become difficult according to my sources. And why this is important for you to know is because you might be waiting for a pathway that is not viable for you. So if you know you want to migrate as a medical officer, you want to migrate as a very junior doctor, the Saudi route is not very viable for you right now. According to my sources, you can take anywhere between 6 months to actually 8 months to get a job. All right, and it is increasingly more difficult to get a job as a junior doctor, to get a job as a medical officer, for example. And the reason is not far-fetched. Two popular reasons is, one, the practice consultant-led system. So you realize they are looking for specialists, and two is that the few training centers available actually just take local or indigenous. So you look at it from that angle, you realize that if you're going to migrate as a younger person, you need to find another route. It could be the UK route, so you follow PLAB, MRCS, do a master's or whatever really, or go to the US. But if you are insistent for any particular reason that you need to migrate to Saudi Arabia, then what is required of you is, or what might be best for you, is for you to actually start a training program. Not just routine medical officer experience, but start a training program in your country that is going to give you some qualifications that when you're applying, anytime else you're applying, you're going to be in a better place to actually get a job. So this is very important. But regardless of what color of doctor you are, it is becoming increasingly more difficult to get jobs, but specialists will find it easier. So if you want to migrate within the next few months and you want some level of certainty, it is not that it's impossible for you to actually get these jobs, but some level of certainty that you are going to get the jobs, then you may need to change your focus from Saudi to maybe another country. Alright, so but how do you even get these jobs if you have all your qualifications? And the qualification we're talking about is maybe fellowship, maybe of course your primary MBBS certificate, or if you're from any other walk of life or health sector, you just need to prove that you're qualified. And the more skilled you are, the better your chances of getting a job. If you have all of this set, then the next question is, do you need an agent? Of course, you can go online and search for jobs in Saudi Arabia and apply. And once you get the jobs, if you're able to get the jobs, you start talking about them sponsoring your visa and the rest of them. But from every source I've spoken to, everyone points to the fact that you need an agent. Okay, you need an agent. And they don't just say agent, they keep telling you that you need a trustworthy agent, because anything that has to involve agents, you realize that your chances of being scammed increases. All right, so you need an agent, and there are a number of them online that I saw. I can't recommend any, perhaps for the same reason that my sources are reluctant to recommend any agent. But you have to do your own research and be able to make an informed decision. So but you need an agent, and what might surprise you is that the agent fee is not cheap. All right, so the last person I spoke to says that why it has become more difficult to migrate to Saudi is, one, of course, the scarcity of job for younger doctors, and number two is that the agency fee has skyrocketed, and he was mentioning something in the range of 4 to 5 million naira. That's a lot of money. It can help you complete one of the pathways I've been mentioning. Okay, so that is a lot of money to pay an agent, and remember the risk of are you working with a trustworthy agent or not. But when I went online, I saw pretty a number that you can actually trust. All right, I think you can trust, but of course how you can decide whether you can trust them or not will be left for you to decide, and that's why I won't be mentioning any here. But everyone agrees that you need an agent. So you gather your qualifications, but remember, if you are not a specialist or you don't have some higher level of training, it becomes more difficult, and of course you need an agent. So if you can gather that amount of money, 4 to 5 million naira, and you can also as well wait for 6 to 8 months, you might just be able to get into Saudi Arabia with the right amount of work and patience. And once you get a job, you're sponsored and you get over, then you can do any exam that is required of you, any certification that is required of you. So that's basically how it works. But then there is something that I have to mention before I end this video, and that is what they call Dataflow. It started recently. So for you to migrate, you have to start this. So it's like a primary source verification platform. If you just type it in on Google, I have to put the logo so that you don't miss it. All right, so it's a Dubai-based company. So there isn't the people here. So you need to start it before migrating. Now, basically what it does is verify all the information you provide. Okay, so you are migrating to a country, it wants to check all your document and all your information to be sure that they are correct, authentic. So this needs to be started. You can Google it, Dataflow, go to their website and see what you need to submit. So but basically you don't need any special documents apart from your qualification and then routine documents you need when you're migrating, like passport. Okay, so but you need to ask yourself, apart from the, let's say, difference in culture that might shock you depending on how you've been living before, and the different modifications you might need to make to your life, are you economically advantaged waiting to migrate to Saudi Arabia as a younger doctor, as a junior doctor? So if migrating to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is what you desire, you have some information now to work on, And if you have direct questions about it, you can ask. It's though my sources don't want to come open and discuss in a live stream, I should be able to get some answers for you and drop in the comment section. So that will be all for now. I hope it was helpful, and if it is, give the video a thumbs up. If it is not, give it a thumbs down, and then tell us what you do right in the comment section. Alright, so scroll down and watch the video and the live stream I had with Dr. Casey on the master's route for the UK, and that might actually just give you another perspective altogether. Alright, have a good one, all of you.